Damn.
Yo, what's good? What's good? We are back with another episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast. This is episode 52, which marks 1 year since the official start of the podcast. Make some noise real quick.
Make some motherfucking noise, man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. That shit is fucking crazy.
All right, man. So, you know what I'm saying? In usual fashion, we're going to introduce everybody. My name is Bob Celeste. I'm the best. Who else we got?
Big Lordy Lord, man. No fuck the nigga. I'm just staying solid, man.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Brigance. That's 1G.
Yeah, they call me Dad.
Black Roots.
All right, man. So, speaking of Black Roots, Roots. Yeah, he got to finish.
He gonna come in here with a corny name. I know he is.
Yeah, so he'll be in shortly, whatever. But this week we watched The Time to Kill, 1996, starring Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, Samuel L. Jackson, Kevin Spacey, Keith Sutherland. I can't even. There's a lot of people in this movie here. The movie was picked by KTL, so I'm gonna pass over to KTL so he could walk us through, why he chose the movie and
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Y'all know I got a list of movies generally that I plan on going through the course of this podcast. This right here it's one of my favorite movies, bro. Like I got a list of like my favorite movies, and this hoe is up there, honestly. I said before I revealed it last week, I didn't really feel like motherfuckers that the swine of this podcast deserve some culture at this level. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it was my duty and my obligation to bring us back to the glory days. We reviewed a lot of movies here, man.
That's like funny.
Thanks, man. From every genre, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't, but like I wanted to get back to like some serious shit. I don't think we had like a real serious drama type movie in a minute. Well, I guess last week's might have been, but like that was about Clucks.
What we watched last week?
Huh?
What we watched? Oh, that shit was fire last week.
Yeah, it was, but it was also about junkies. So it's like
shit.
Yeah, like
Requiem for a Dream. Yeah.
Oh, hey, man, there go that clown again. But
my bad.
Right. So like, yeah, I feel like I also, of course, Luno, I said it. In my opinion, bro, like we didn't have a lot of actors and actresses on this whole. Matthew McConaughey might be the guy at his podcast, man. Like he might be the GOAT of this year, Motherfucker done turned in some stellar performances. I said, all right, bet. We're finna bring him back one more time before the year's over. You look at this all-star lineup. We ain't had Kevin Spacey on here before.
Yeah, I forget Kevin Spacey is in this movie, though. Like, whenever I think Kevin Spacey, I never think of this fucking movie. I don't think we've had
Sandra Bullock on this podcast yet. So that's pretty clean.
Nigga, that's the bitch from Bird Box?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's
the bitch from Miss Congeniality.
Yep, that bitch fought as hell in this movie. That
she
was not like that in Bird Box.
Yeah, we gonna get to that in just a second.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question real quick. You got Salma Hayek in Desperado versus Sandra Bullock in this movie. Who you got?
Salma Hayek.
Okay.
It's not even close.
Not even close, bro. Not even a debate.
Luno, the difference is that Salma Hayek is beautiful in the face. And she's thick. Sandra Bullock is not
slim
thick. She's just gorgeous as hell. You know what I'm saying? So
that's even a stretch for me.
Like Sandra Bullock in A Time to Kill is smoking like 95% of these women I've seen in these movies. I'm not gonna.
I don't agree with that at
all.
But
like, what I'm saying, like, if you just like take like a regular, skinny, like beautiful woman, I'm gonna be honest, like. For my taste, at least, like, but like, come on, you make a thick, beautiful woman, like, come on, bro, that shit's not fair.
Look, man, we gotta get into this. Obviously, this movie has some challenging racist themes in it. It's a lot of,
it's a
hard
tough watch,
yards
man.
running
Trigger
around.
warning, spoiler alert. You know what I'm saying? All that. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know what it
Yeah.
is. Man.
If you don't like people being called neighbors, this may be not the movie for you.
Or all the different R words, because they're all in this movie.
Which ones?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about them soon, John.
We're gonna talk about it, man. So the movie takes place in Mississippi in a town called Canton, which apparently there's another Canton. It's in Ohio, but it's not there. So you got this young lawyer. You got Canton, Ohio is definitely a place.
Oh, okay.
But look, you got this attorney, Jake Brigance. Is that the way you spell it?
Yep.
Right?
It's 1G. He made sure he let you know 1G.
He's a lawyer, man. He lives in a racist area, on the good side of town. He's in a place where there's a lot of, racist shit going on. And in the past, this dude apparently has had, you know what I'm saying, that have done terrible shit. He's gotten them off the hook. He's that type of lawyer and shit. All right, so he gets another case in this movie. I
don't think that's confirmed, Luno, because they asked if he had handled the case of that motherfucking redneck guy, and he said no, that was some other guy. And the only thing they said he did, he was lying.
Yeah, he was lying.
I don't think so.
He looked visibly and probably uncomfortable when he was asked about it. So I can only assume that it probably is some truth to it. But nonetheless, Tanya, the daughter of Carl, was it Carl Haley?
Carl Lee Haley. Take a back seat, Luno. I got this, man. You know what I'm saying?
KTO want to talk. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I do, man. Because I got, I'm finna get in my bag for this one. It's 1 year of the podcast. We got
talk crazy, nigga.
Gotta turn up, right? So
man.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the name of the beginning antagonists of the movie, but there are, two redneck gentlemen, and I use the term gentleman as loosely as possible. Riding around drunk as hell in a truck, doing a whole bunch of racist shit. They're throwing bottles at backboards of, black youths just trying to play basketball and shit. They go fuck up somebody's store, just a whole lot of racist stuff. They see Tanya coming home, Carly Haley's daughter, Tanya, coming home. She's 10 years old. She's been sent to get groceries from the store by her mother. And so she's on her way home, and these drunken rednecks decide to drive by, hit her with a full can of beer, and then proceed to sexually assault and violate in several other ways and attempt to kill young Tanya. And it doesn't work, so they go to drop her off. But, unfortunately for them, she ends up living. The police find her, and they are taken into custody. Carly Haley finds out about this. He goes home, sees his hurt and, battered and abused daughter. And at that point in time, he a switch flips in his mind, which we'll get to that later on, but, might be within every parent's mind. And he decides that vengeance shall be his, saith the Carl. And so he goes and he tells Jake Brigance, who Jake Brigance has represented his brother, I believe, in a legal case. So they're at least familiar in that capacity, about these conflicting feelings that he's having and the things that he's planning on doing. Jake doesn't think too much of it, although he thinks that it is a horrible thing what happened to Tanya. So he doesn't mention it to anybody. However, during the time where the gentlemen in question are being taken into the court to be arraigned, Carly bursts in with an assault rifle and starts letting off shots. He kills both of the young men. He blows the leg off of the police officer that is escorting them and is subsequently arrested and detained. And the rest of this movie is based off of Jake Brigance attempting to defend Carl Lee in the case of murdering the two young men, and an attempt to, save his life for something that, may or may not have been justifiable. And there we go.
That's the plot right there. Now, real quick before we get into the rest of it, the individual who entered
what
the room
did I tell y'all? Man.
Hold up. would the individual who just entered the room like to introduce themselves?
It's your boy Smoker Cracker Roots here. What's happening, brother?
Talk crazy.
Let's go, man. Yeah, we got Black Roots in the building. All right. So look, man, I mean, one thing to start off with this movie too is it's a 90s movie, tail end of the 90s. But what this podcast has proven, if y'all been tuned in, is that just because a movie is 20 some odd years old, it don't mean that it can't be fired. I thought that this shit was definitely one of the best movies I ever watched. But I'm interested in seeing if this group of people found any sort of issues or trifles or problems out the gate with this movie that they think might have hurt this shit score wise or something like that. So,
well, first things first, I want to address, we watched movies of all different lengths. This is one of the longer movies we've watched. And I've had complaints in the past of short movies feeling long, of long movies being unbearable. I don't think that the runtime was an issue for this movie, in my opinion. I don't think there was a point where the plot was dragging or the pacing, felt like they could have shortened it. I don't think I had an issue with the runtime of the movie. Did anybody else, as far as like attention span or maintaining interest? All right, good talk.
Because honestly, the runtime is a little bit concerning, obviously, when you take a look, and attention span is definitely a thing, but I feel like attention span is definitely a thing when a movie itself is not all that engaging. I'll say that this movie, it didn't need to try all that hard to keep my attention. I think that everything going on was just enough to where you kind of want to, sort of pay attention and figure out where the hell shit goes. I think that the 2 hours kind of elapsed, fairly quickly, like from my perspective. I don't think that this was a tough to watch movie from the, sort of perspective of when is this shit gonna end.
Yeah. Hey, Roots, do you have an opinion on the matter?
My bad. What was the question?
I was speaking on the runtime of this, like if being that it is a longer movie, close to 2.5 hours, if that affected your enjoyment of watching the movie.
No, not at all. I think we've watched a good bit of longer movies, not longer than this, but on the longer side.
Yeah, and that's what I brought up. We watched hour-and-a-half movies. We watched 2.5-hour movies.
But not just that, but this movie, I've never seen this movie before, surprisingly.
Okay.
But my attention was kept by the movie then, like from minute 1 to minute 190 or whatever the fuck. Like this movie was fucking great. This was a great fucking movie.
I do have a question.
You can do a longer movie when you have a movie like this.
Yeah, I have a question, Roots, and I know we'll get into it, but I know that you notoriously, I believe you said on the podcast, I know you said behind the scenes, that you are not a fan of, quote, white savior movies, which this, according to the podcast panel, falls under that category, which I see the argument. I think it goes both ways, pause if necessary.
Yeah.
Did you have a problem with that within this movie?
I think with this being an older movie, and the white savior aspect was still kind of new. It was still kind of fresh. Also, I don't believe that all white savior movies are made intentionally to be white savior movies. I think that's just what ends up happening. Yeah. However, with this, I feel that it was very authentic and it's very true to reality.
So go ahead, Luno.
No, I was just gonna say that I think that what they did masterfully here was, instead of just showing us who's the good guy and the bad guy and kind of giving them like a cliche interaction and confrontation throughout the movie, I think that they gave the viewer reasons to look at both sides of the coin.
Yes.
And to put themselves in the shoes of both sides of the coin. You didn't watch this movie and just sit there like only identifying with the black side or identify with the white side. You seen that there was conflict, just like straight up, human.
Yeah, I kind of identify with the Ku Klux Klan. Them niggas was kind of snapping.
Yeah,
talk crazy, bro.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Lest we get demonetized. I hear you on that, but at the same time, though, I don't think this movie forced that racial.
like
racial
you were
part.
saying, Luno. I think it was very.
Is he lagging?
Happened to that nigga, man.
Yeah,
I think he's lagging like a
Clan came and got his ass.
Hey, one thing I will say, Luno, I think that like, okay, well, I'm
gonna yo, how I sound? My fault. I ain't mean to interrupt
you. You fought off the clan, got away.
Hey, look at my name, and then ask me that question again. Matter of fact, look at my name and then don't ask me that question.
So first things first, I think that like one thing that keeps this from being a traditional white savior movie is that, like, you know, in traditional white savior movies, like, for example, a motherfucker will, if they're the white savior of the movie is attempting to save, you know, the black person, the Mexican, you know, Asian person, etc.
That's what a white savior movie is?
Yeah. Like they're attempting to save
idea.
them from like their surroundings, where it'll be like the hood, you know what I'm saying, where like the enemy is them. No, like within this movie, like the enemy is also white people. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that kind of makes a difference. But beyond that, I think Samuel Jackson like made a good point where like he you know, the whole time Jake Brigance thinks him and Carly Haley's like, yeah, we're a team, we're friends. And every time Carly tells me, he's like, we're not no team. Like he was like we're not friends.
Yeah, we're not team, we're not partners. Like he's sitting there saying, he's like, you want to be the good guy so bad, but you're one of them. Yes, you're one of them that can help me. You know what I'm saying? But like you're just like them, and you don't realize it. Like you don't want to be, brother. But you. What was you about to say, Puels?
Yes, white people was doing bullshit, of course, but the black preacher or whatever he tried to raise
he was on fuck shit too.
Yeah, man. So it's not. I wouldn't.
It wasn't just him. It was the whole NAACP.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm getting to. It ain't just. It's showing how on both sides people could be selfish for their own reasons. Not just white, not just black, but just people in general are some selfish motherfuckers. Even my man's wife thinking he just trying to be a big shot on TV, then it had to take all this shit to happen for her to realize, nah, buddy really trying to be a good dude. Like,
in which I think he was the only one that of people who something bad happened to. Him and Sandra Bullock's character were the only ones to really stand on business like that.
Yeah,
like you ain't see him crying and complaining about shit. Yeah, of course. But you ain't see him crying and complaining about the shit going on. The most you seen him get distraught is when he couldn't find his dog.
Yeah, because they burned, bro. All that shit had just happened to him, bro. They killed his secretary husband. They burned his house down. They tried to bomb his shit. He had to send his family out the state or like off to wherever the fuck he had to send them to. You know what I'm saying?
Cap on that roots, bro.
What you mean?
It was plenty of niggas standing on business in this shit, man. Them Ku Klux Klan niggas wasn't playing, bro. Them niggas,
you're right. They were standing on they hell. One of them did die. Cooked his dumb.
Yeah, I'm about to say they burnt
one of them died.
Cooked them.
Hey, well, hold on. All right, so let me address this first, right? Like we named back then, we've said this before about other movies. This now is an all-star cast. Back then, it probably wasn't. Matthew McConaughey definitely wasn't as lit as he is now to the public.
What year did this come out again?
96.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know, Kevin Spacey. Luna, I want to get your perspective because you were such a fan of the John Doe Kevin Spacey character, and I think this is a wildly different portrayal.
Yep.
You know, like here, but I think he was able. He's a bad guy, but he's like a bad guy that's just doing his job, right? So like he's a lawyer, you know, like so I don't like look at him as necessarily the antagonist, but you know
he was pretty much on the same. I categorize him as kind of in the same field as the dude for the NAACP. He's looking for the recognition.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The same way the dude from the NAACP and the pastor was. They're looking for a W for the
movement that they're associated with.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Luno?
So one thing is that I definitely liked the John Doe character from Seven. That Kevin Spacey played. I think he did that really well. Here he's definitely okay. So I'm gonna say he's a bad guy, but the reason why is because of how loaded his position is as the prosecution. It's not even so much that he wants justice served. Like I think anybody can be a lawyer or an attorney or whatever, sit there on that shit and just like try to send somebody to jail because they did something wrong, like a murder or whatever else. But he knows the situation. He knows that the nigga daughter was violated in the worst way possible. And he's still willing to crucify this nigga in front of everybody. And on top of that, he also wants to, in a way, show that justice takes the form of black people getting the short end of the stick. That's his form of justice. So I felt like Kevin Spacey character Buckley here, like I think he was irredeemable. I also think he tried to game the court proceedings in a number of different ways.
100% did, but that's just a lawyer thing, I think. Like I don't.
Yeah,
I think it definitely is.
There are lawyers out there that they'll take any case, no matter what, and it's just a pay raise for them.
Now, there's a lot of
shit definitely showed some good acting range for him.
Most definitely.
Like,
you know what's in which it's probably he definitely got more screen time in this than he did John Doe. However, you still don't see him a majority of the movie. When you do see him,
the least important of the 4 main
5
characters.
minutes. Exactly. But with that, he stands out every time.
Yeah, he maximizes.
Like this nigga is a 1 round legend. Like this nigga. All he needs is 1 round. So I shoot 16s out there and he good.
Go ahead.
No, every time he is on screen, I think he does play like the part, not so much of the villain, but maybe like a sort of an antagonist. I feel like he plays that shit very well here. And I also think too that characters like him and a lot of even the people that are on Brigant's side, like I think they repeat a lot of like the learned helplessness of that time that they were in. Like you hear him and you hear other people sort of saying things along the line like, shit's never gonna be equal. May as well fold up the case. He did it. All that shit, And so I feel like he represented like that side of the aisle.
One of the most racist states in America. Like historically speaking, they were
even
far
today.
behind a lot of the rest of the states in terms of like racial equality in the movement and whatnot.
Sure. And
so
I think this movie explores a very important theme too, because the thing is that in the movie they kept on saying that there hasn't been a Klan in Canton for years, as if like the KKK has been brushed away and this is the time of like equity and stuff. But you heard what the dude said. He's like, ain't no Klan was gone, we're just waiting for the right time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It was like kind of a message that like even when we make progress, there's still work to be done. There's still like hatred sitting beneath the surface and shit that is ready to come back on the scene or whatever. So
even the racists had a hierarchy in this movie, because the motherfuckers out there, like Kiefer Sutherland's character is pissed, that like this shit happened to his brother and whatnot. So they're talking about like, we need some reinforcements. They're talking about the Klan and whoop-de-whoop. Like a motherfucker said, he was like, well, they got some around here. He was like, you talking about them skinheads who want to blow up the government? He's like, no, I'm talking about real God-fearing Klan and all this shit. Like they literally look down on other racists as, less morally upright and whatnot than them. And that's like a crazy hierarchy to look at, I feel like. But that's just something I noticed. But one thing I wanted to address too is like we talked about a minute ago, like this movie plays with the theme of not necessarily moral ambiguity, but more of ambiguity of the law, right? Because Donald Sutherland's character does make a perfect point when he's talking to Matthew McConaughey, and he says, in this case, like you have a man whose daughter was, raped and attempted murdered, and he went out and killed men. So if he's found guilty, then justice will have prevailed. If he's found innocent, justice will also have prevailed. So like it's like you're looking at the lens of like, okay, yeah, like a motherfucker technically he did some shit that's wrong by the letter of the law, but it is very morally understandable, you know what I'm saying? And to an extent justifiable,
Yeah.
And
it's tough for this movie. I was watching and shit like that, and I tried to like notate and like take notes about shit that I felt like maybe were bad about the movie that I could bring up as some sort of criticisms and shit. I feel like when you said this was one of those, like that was an understatement, because the only thing I think that was truly like, what the fuck did I just watch about this movie? Was the bomb. I think he threw that shit in the air and it was like a firecracker.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well,
that's
I
not
definitely.
fucking
I'm
happening.
looking. I'm like, okay, how is this supposed to take out this guy's whole house? You know.
That nigga
Like, if anything, it would have
put a hole in the space. Y'all niggas sleep.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The cop had Buddy on the ground and he just started beating the shit out his ankle with a fucking
hell yeah.
tongue. He
Hey,
said,
Cracker,
"Kid his ass, Ozzy." Like,
taste some of this police brutality, bitch ass nigga.
Oh no, the sheriff in this movie is a cold ass nigga, bro.
Cold as shit. Facts.
Hey, Roots, a motherfucker out there giving anonymous calls, calling himself Mickey Mouse and shit, like in the background.
Hey,
oh no,
he was a rat. That's exactly what he was.
Can we give Brigance like
I was literally just about to talk about him. Matthew McConaughey is so good at playing a lawyer, dog. Like, this is the second one we've seen where he's a lawyer. That motherfucker might just be really good at being a lawyer, bro. I don't know.
I think he might just gotta be a lawyer, dog.
His character was charismatic. He was confident, intelligent. But they also didn't make him infallible. He was also very vulnerable throughout this movie.
He was drunk. Like, he was an alcoholic. He was insecure about, like, his career and, like, his fucking shortcomings and his, all of that shit, his marriage. Like, that motherfucker is very fallible.
Wait, are you talking about Jake? Or are you talking about
I'm talking about Jake.
Oh, okay. Because I thought that despite him liking to drink and things like that, I don't know if he's so much of a drunk. I think his buddy is the drunk. I think his assistant.
His buddy is, but I noticed it more like this time. Like, there's so many times where, like, he's going out there just like getting drunk and shit. I'm like, okay, you think like he's bad, but he's really just like these other motherfuckers, low key.
Well, let me give him a break, right? Because Temptation is a bitch. This movie, I think he had a really sexy Sandra Bullock kind of giving him that look, and
I would not have blamed him for folding, bro. I think I really was kind of I hoped through this movie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, his wife out here doing all this bitch ass shit. I really wanted, like, and I liked the chemistry between the two characters, bro. I wanted him to end up with Ellen Roark. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Thing is that what was between them was like a kinship through adversity. Like, you have like a really bad situation and you bond with somebody else because you're both going through the same fuck shit. Like, you grow closer. You know what I mean? That's like different from him like marrying, setting up a family with somebody, whatever else. You have this commitment or whatever, and you stick to it. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have blamed him for folding, but at the same time, his resilience with this bad bitch who just basically waltzed into his life is pretty noteworthy, man.
Yeah, it's commendable.
She went across she left the state. She left the state with their kid or whatever. He had the crib to himself. She came over, saw him like butt ass naked or at least shirtless, and nothing happened. They got fucking shit faced together. He went back to her Motel 6, sat next to her or whatever else, got right up in her grill and said, "I'll see you tomorrow." The restraint.
Bro, not even just that. Hold on, the third level of it, where they experienced a traumatic event together, which I don't know about y'all, but that's definitely gotten me some pussy before. But
bro, she definitely would have got fucked off the second try.
She was going. She was going at that point.
She literally asked, "Do you want me to stay?"
And he said yes, which is why I need you to go.
Yeah, you need to.
I would have instantly folded, bro.
Before that, Ruthie said, He said, "I'm finna go. I need you to lock the door behind me." Like, cause he knew, he was like, "Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna end up fucking.
I'm gonna come back to this bitch."
Yeah,
I'm only a man.
Damn, nigga, I would have instantly folded, bro.
No way I would have left.
I agree with what Luno said, but I also think that I think that there was like inherent chemistry, like that, I enjoyed, where I don't think it was just a situational deal. Like, I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was admiration and adversity and whatnot, but I feel like she was the antithesis to, his wife and
what
whatnot.
What the fuck does that mean?
Of like the opposite, you know what I'm saying?
I want to talk a little bit real quickly about Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. The guy's name is Tim Nunley. He was part of the Klan. Okay.
Yes.
He's also the one who saves Rourke.
Yep.
Okay. He was an informant. I think that it's kind of convenient that they sort of like had him like sort of ready to kind of whisk her away and shit like that. But I also thought that it served the purpose of showing that even like the evildoers have like some degree of conscience, right?
Well, hold on, bro, because like let's think about. I want to break down real quick. I'm gonna let you like make this point, but I want to break down real quick. Do you know how depraved the shit that they did was? Them motherfuckers, pretend like posed as cops, picked that bitch up, took her out to the woods, tied her to a tree, cut her,
stripped her
clothes
naked.
I think that it's worse in the book from what I read. What fool?
That nigga was a real police. He didn't pose as shit.
I don't know who picked her up.
That's some evil shit, bro.
That was the nigga who he told him like go.
That was the sheriff.
Oh
yeah, that was the sheriff right hand man.
So a motherfucker like I think it's worse in the book, but they tied this bitch to a tree, cut her clothes off, and literally if there were not any intervention, she likely would have sat out there, got eaten alive by bugs, baked in the sun
by bugs.
As fuck.
Nigga, she was next to a fucking swamp.
You can say get eaten alive by bugs.
Yeah, the bugs are the start. Then you get, cooked by the sun. You get
nigga, her legs would have got gator rolled off, my
bro,
nigga.
That is some sociopathic ass shit, boy. They was finna do to that bitch. Like,
curious if because I know I don't want to like jump all over the movie, but at the same time it's kind of tough because I don't think that there's anything really all that much like scene wise that I would want to unpack. Do you guys have any scenes that stick out to you that kind of had an impact you want to talk about?
But
except the end.
I was about to say because I don't want to jump there yet.
Except the end, right?
Yeah. When the
first gonna say something about the KKK again.
Oh, definitely. when the first nigga like pulled up all flamed up in his bloody flag Ku Klux Klan uniform,
that's the Grand Dragon. That's the Grand Dragon.
That dark red one. The dark red one.
Was he still clean when he got set on fire?
No, he was ass then.
Yeah,
he was ass then. But I do agree that
he got flamed by a little nigga. That was a little teenage.
But was he clean?
10-year-old nigga.
One thing that I do want to bring up too is that Kiefer Sutherland's character said he told his buddies and shit like that after the two kids got shot or whatever else. He's like, yo, like I know some people in the Klan, He's like, man, they ain't no Klan. He's like, no, I know somebody, I'm gonna hit him up. And he's like, you go and do that. Boy, you was skeptical as shit. End up with a bag over your head, escorted out into the woods. They take that shit off. You see two niggas with big ass guns and an old ass nigga walk out the mist. Son, I was like,
listen, when I seen him get up out the truck with the blindfold, I'm like, oh, they about to put him down on the set. What the fuck?
They did.
I was like, what's about to happen to this nigga?
I thought they was about to run. I thought they was about to run 130 seconds on that nigga.
They probably did.
Right, tell them the hell in.
It looked like they did, like, you know what I'm saying? But either way, I was thinking that shit too. I'm like, bro, you are more upset than everybody else. You just got put down, bitch ass nigga. Why you this upset, bro? Died. They just put you in this hole. Like,
nigga funny.
Mad, nigga?
There was a
don't
couple
be mad.
There was a couple of like good scenes. I think that there was a very valid point. Donald Sutherland's character. What was his name? Fucking he was the old lawyer, Lucius Wilbank, right?
Yeah.
So that motherfucker, he was, he's presented as like he's the mentor of Jake Brigance. He's the third white man to ever be admitted to the Mississippi NAACP. He got disbarred for beating up cops. Like he's,
you're real ass nigga.
I was about to say he is like what Brigance wants to be and whatnot. And so like the whole time they're out here giving him praise. I don't want to use the phrase that Pools be talking about. They was dick sucking, but they was. And like he finally like at a certain point he has to tell like Jake, he's like, hey bro, like don't be like me. He's like, I fucked all this shit. He's like, what do you mean? You did all this great shit. He's like, man, I beat up a cop and I can't practice the law no more. What the fuck? Like that shit not here.
Yeah, it's relatable to y'all go watch Gen V. But it's relatable to something that said in that show a lot of the what makes a hero a hero. You know what I'm saying? Making the right decisions so that you can stay in the good standings to be a hero at the right times and for the right shit. You know what I'm saying? He did some brave shit. He did some heroic shit. However, that was the last heroic shit that he was able to do. You know what I'm saying? He crapped out.
That's a fact, and it also like it has to do with public perception because everybody else might view you in this manner while you're looking like, bro, this shit I did was not clean. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all out here giving me all these flowers and shit. Like I wish I would have never did that shit.
Lucian, he is definitely his mentor, and his accolades, I think, might speak louder than his experience when you lead up to like the end of the movie, because we're talking about him like he's this dope ass like amazing lawyer and shit, did all this great shit or whatever else. But when they have that heart to heart toward the end, I think what Lucian was trying to do was kind of imply to him or suggest that you got one job and it's in there. I can't do that job anymore. In a way, it's like Lucian was saying he regrets the choices he made, even though they were the right ones, right?
Yes.
Which is to say, and the bigger theme of the movie, it seems, is that justice itself does not come without sacrifice. Right. I think that Jake Brigance especially learns this the hard way throughout the movie, but it takes time to set in. Your marriage is on the rocks as a result of you doing this. The people close to you get targeted and hurt as a product of you trying to quote unquote do the right thing.
House get burned down.
So much gets implicated.
You almost
here.
died, bro. They tried to, they ended up like paralyzing some guy because they shot him in the neck and he was right next to you, bro. That was meant for you.
That was meant for exactly.
I'm sorry. I wanted to point something out. Brigant mentioned to Roark that this guy threw his life away for me. It more so looked like the redhead motherfucker just got shitty aim, bro. Because that soldier didn't move.
No,
he just got shot in the neck.
He didn't account for the wind. He didn't account for the wind that day. He was up there smoking a cigarette. You could see
supposed
that
to lick
wind.
his finger and test.
He's not a train killer.
Yeah, no, sure. He's just a racist. He's not a trained killer. Like
he thought his racism would add skill.
Yeah, like Roots. He was out there playing Call of Duty on the arcade cabinets and shit. He's like he didn't account for the wind moving. He's shooting shit, thinking the bullet gonna fly straight.
Dumbass shot a fucking NPC instead of the main target.
Yeah, bro. Like
whoever the fucking KKK member is that stabbed that nigga in the back of the leg. He's a bitch. That shit barely even did anything.
Ass as fuck, boy. That nigga said, this is for my white brother, miss. Stupid ass nigga.
I would have stabbed the fuck out that nigga.
If I really wanted to kill somebody and I was right there close in a crowd of people who probably couldn't see me and I can get away with it, bro, you nigga would have dropped.
Because he wanted to do a bunch of extra theatrical shit, bro. Nigga unsheath the knife, hold it in the air, examine it, and then give a half a speech on why he about to stab somebody, and then just poke him in the leg.
That nigga Matthew McConaughey cracking off, bro. Folks out here like beating the shit out each other.
Matthew McConaughey on the other hand,
that
nigga got active. He seen
that nigga got active.
Super active. Little police ran in and stopped the nigga.
My nigga, man.
That one no soft punch either, bro. He turned the waist. He like really like you know what I'm saying?
He leaned into that motherfucker.
This is a top character, bro. Like of a lot of the movies we watch, he's a top character. He's pretty good,
bro. Going back. I don't know if y'all talked about it, but the nigga got active with the fake ass bomber. Nigga jumped over the fence,
he started
chest and socked him right after the bomb went off.
He knocked the motherfucker. I was about to ask y'all, like, y'all think Matthew McConaughey was better as a lawyer in this hoe or the Lincoln Lawyer?
He ain't punched nobody in the Lincoln Lawyer. Oh wait, he shot him up. Yo, this nigga a cold ass. What lawyer carry around a stick?
Okay. Like, I think he was better in this though.
He had himself a revolver in this bitch. Roots, like his wife walked in there. He thought it was finna be some smoke. He was ready to.
Nigga had the baby on him.
He said, "Hey, bro, I got a couple in this chamber. Let's see who walk out this hole."
He had to go through more shit in this one, so I'm gonna give him this one.
Honestly, in the Lincoln Lawyer, there's a little bit of like levity. It's a serious ass movie, in a lot of respects, but there was also a lot of silliness, a lot of like repetitive kind of gimmicks and parody kind of moments, and Lincoln Lawyer was
one liner type.
Yeah, it was an incredible movie. Don't get me wrong, but Matthew McConaughey was just kind of like, slick, sly comment, kind of like, like arrogant lawyer douchebag.
That voice change you just did.
He was more experienced in the Lincoln Lawyer. Here he seemed to be a newer lawyer. Like he was,
Yeah, and this he's a young gunner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and he don't know.
Lincoln Lawyer, it was kind of like this feeling like he always kind of knew how he was gonna finesse the situation. Even when he took L's, like you knew he was cooking something new up. I think in this movie here,
they burnt the motherfucker house down, bro. Like,
oh yeah, and also too, like he was right when he was sitting in that wreckage. They burned the fuck out of his house. Everything's going wrong, and the niggas just like, bro, just wrap the shit up, man. Like you don't have to keep going. Like just And he's like,
that nigga, man, where my dog at, cuz?
Where my dog at?
Well,
bro?
No, beyond that, Roots, he was like, bro, they burnt my fucking house down. If I quit now, they burnt my house down for nothing. Like
facts, like nigga, I'm not taking this L like this.
Bro, I stopped a bomb from going off in my house, and they burnt that bitch anyway. Like.
How long did that fire have to be going for them to light half across 20 feet away from that motherfucker, and then it eventually burned the entire house?
I don't even know if the cross was what did it this time. I just assumed they went and did that shit while he wasn't there.
Bro. They put the cross set on fire, in front of the house, and I guess it just tracked over the lawn and then burned the house down. I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
These Klansmen in his ass, bro.
They
missed shooting him. They only tried to light stand up the cross and burn that hole while his wife and kid was home, not even while he was there. The last time that they tried to burn this house, the next time that they tried to burn this house down, they tried to fucking bomb it. Nigga beat the shit out of a bomber. Then they finally burned the house down just by ways of the wind blowing too much, and
they tried to cut the motherfucker, and all they did was give him a little nick.
Nigga tried a melee kill and fucked up. These Klansmen his ass, bro.
I'm gonna be honest, man. They got less threatening as the movie went on. It was like at first I'm like, these niggas mean business, and then like they just started getting their ass.
They got beat up on the street by a bunch of black civilians.
Yeah, they ass.
They leader had got smoked, and a motherfucker that just got put on the set a week ago is running that bitch now. You feel me? So they ain't got no direction.
Bro, my Black Brothers is incredible, son. My Black Brothers is incredible because these niggas missed the sniper, like a fucking military grade, like a sniper and shit. You gonna miss that nigga. But you had the nigga with the Molotov and shit. He got on the roof of a goddamn corner store. The niggas on the ground looked up, got the signal.
His gang hold him in place. Hey, hold that nigga right there. I got something for him.
Right? Last moment, run off. He threw that shit down. Hit marker, son.
Now I will say, right, like, and this might be a controversial take. At the point where, like, they being like, there's two sides being held back by the police officer. They talking crazy and shit. You got like the KKK guy like yelling slurs at that
black woman. Why is that funny, KTL?
She was because it's the word slurs is funny, but. He's actually I don't even think he used slurs like that. That woman.
No, he was like saying wild animal.
Watch this, Roots. That woman sitting there. She's like, "You disgusting. You this and that." He said, "You watch your mouth. You wild animal."
His comeback was ass, bro. He said, then he got swung on by that same lady.
But that's what I was about to say, Roots. I will say, like, I'm not gonna say that it wasn't necessarily justified, but she started that whole shit. Like,
most definitely.
Dying. Like, she ain't. I don't think you had to hit a motherfucker with a purse, man, to start.
First of all, nigga, I see a nigga with a Klan hoodie on. I'm on his ass. What you doing out here? Like, I know what that shit represents.
Even if the cops out nigga. There.
I don't give a bro. You not supposed to be outside with no Klan hoodie on.
No, nigga. But this was back then. They used to just wear them hoes. Like,
I don't give a fuck.
That's an ass whooping. Like you,
I know I'm putting him on the shelf.
So let's be clear.
You
right?
gotta get on their ass.
So I think that they replicated like
she
actual civil tensions.
She didn't get on nobody else.
Hold on. I'm sorry, Luna. Hold on. Yeah, she hit him with a purse. You know what else she did? She snatched the nigga hoodie off and spit in his fucking face.
True.
That was later though.
You hit a motherfucker with anything, you on their ass.
That was later.
You hit a motherfucker with a backpack, you on their ass.
And look, the Klansman ain't swing back because he know better.
Yeah.
Look, real quickly, I obviously want to talk a little bit about like the courtroom proceedings, like some of those scenes as well. I think that part of what made this movie also really dope was every like scene in the courtroom, and the interaction between Brigance and Buckley.
Buckley.
Buckley, yeah.
It got a country ass name.
One thing before we get to there, Luno, we talked about all the other main characters. I want to, because it was a subject of discussion behind the scenes. What does everybody think of Samuel L. Jackson in this movie?
I'll let you go first on this
his
one.
portrayal. What?
I'll let you go first on this one.
Typical Samuel L., man.
I don't agree, Pujols. Like I do agree. That like he had more acting range within this movie. I think like generally he's angry and in the action and whatnot. You don't always see him like as an emotional character. Like giving logical reasoning and affected by sadness and things of that nature. He's normally just
that's the first 10 minutes, man. After that he's back to regular Samuel L.
That's not true.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hit.
Yeah, but Pujols like he's behind the fucking the jail cell. Jake's like, oh, I don't know about that. He's like, come on, Jake, you got to get me off. I can't go to prison.
We ain't right. My daughters don't know each other. They don't even hang out.
That's you don't even know where I live at.
That's some Samuel L. Jackson.
He said what? He said, you think we similar because you go eat at Claude's? Like
sometimes I think that especially when you're in the role of like the disaffected person who like everything
where I live.
That's funny as shit. Everything is happening around Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. He's locked up, so everything is
inciting point, and then everything else like happens as a consequence of him.
Exactly, and so
I can't passenger in his own story.
I can't expect him to have too many moments on screen that he's going to be able to sell us like masterpiece performance, but I will give him credit for his heartfelt performances when interacting with his family during the visit when his wife came through and was sort of telling him about like how like she's not going to be able to have kids and stuff, and I felt like I hurt with him.
So
even with even with the when he set up the whole thing with the NAACP, like that was fire. The conversation that he had with the officer that he shot, even with him sitting in the courtroom as these things are happening to him, his reaction to these things happening to him, I think that was great.
We're not going to talk about it yet, but like during the closing argument scene, you like while a motherfucker is talking, you can like the camera will pan back to him and he's selling things just through facial expressions, through eyebrow raises, and what I'm saying, looking down, looking up, like he's selling shit without saying anything. And I think that's a very impressive talent to me.
I will say too, credit to Sandra Bullock here. Really smart, witty, like attractive young girl, knows her shit, comes onto the scene, is an asset. On screen is a woman and pretty, but not annoying. She wasn't annoying. She wasn't like just hanging off of the other characters, sort of just to carry her. Like she had her own.
She stood her own.
She had a moral disagreement with him at the restaurant when it came to the subject of capital punishment, and I think that's about the most that she ever really like was a hindrance, I guess, if you want to say, to the main character. Like just differing ideologies. Beyond that, like they were on the same page, and she was, like I say, not a damsel in distress. Like she was actually.
What are you? Some kind of like JFK, like
I think
the white savior. Like what do you think you are? Like I thought you grilled the shit out of him. She did, and she said, "Have you ever seen somebody get executed?" You know what I mean?
She said, "Oh, you think you're some kind of white savior because you want to go eat at a black restaurant?" Like she was funny as.
On top of that too, she real quick, just before you get to that, I want to say too, she called him out for not having seen an execution in person, and it's also the case that when that shooting went down and he had to, use his sport coat as like a tourniquet for that nigga's leg, he went home and he was crying in his wife's arms.
He witnessed the execution. Like he witnessed two of them at the same time.
Bro, he's covered in blood. His wife out there yelling like, "Oh my God, Jake, what happened to you? Please talk to me. What happened?"
He said he don't believe in rehabilitation and he don't believe in getting rid of the death penalty. It's crazy because when he seen death in front of him, he broke down. He couldn't process. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely speaks to. Yeah, it speaks to the hypocrisy, man. So even though she's like radicalized, young, idealistic college student and shit, she was spitting a lot of facts, man. She was a redeemable character,
and that's what makes a good debate. When both of you are right, but you have differing viewpoints that are also like some are right, some are wrong.
I wanted to address the the chemistry between Matthew McConaughey and Sandra Bullock in this movie. I think it was
Top
really, really
and
good.
It's not two.
And the what is it? The pressure or the temptation between the two of them, I think it did what it was supposed to do, because I was afraid as I kept seeing it that it was going to take away from the main plot of the case, but it didn't. Or the main plot of the movie, but it didn't. You know, it was there just to add a little bit more, but it wasn't too much. And I think that was perfectly done by them.
Bro, the movie, like the at the end of the movie, like the last time he sees her, we assume, is in that hospital room, bro. You know what I'm saying? He goes and like sees her and whatnot, and like she's not even there for the final conclusion of the thing she's put all this work into, both in the sense of the case and her relationship with Jake Brigance. Like that, you know, their story has already concluded when the main story ends, and I think that is good. They wrapped it up before, you know, the important part happened. Like I say, you can call me a bitch, boy. I was sitting there rooting on this story right there. You know what I'm saying? I wanted him to get with that fine ass bitch, man. I was like, man,
I
they like each other
understand it
and shit. Like,
yeah, I understand it, but again, it kind of just cuts back to the point
I know,
that
morally, don't cheat on your wife, and then the fuck
not that part. It's that when you're a married man or whatever, obviously there's temptation involved in like a fresh, you know, a new person comes on the scene and you click and stuff like that. That's where the temptation comes from. I think though that they bonded over adversity and shit like that. But both of them still, with that temptation in mind, didn't let it like consume what they were doing. I think
they
it would have
remained
added
honorable.
Of course, it would have added another problematic storyline to this movie that needs reconciliation if he went and cheated on his wife, you know?
I don't view that as problematic at all. That's the end of it. But, you know,
well, it's a sidebar to the main conflict of the story. You wouldn't want him to be like juggling like a court case on top of infidelity too. Because then,
for me, you don't got to explain nothing. Oh, all right, he's with this bitch now because his wife was being a bitch. Bet. You know what I'm saying? That's how I. You know what I'm saying? That's how I view it. But I'm ignorant, so.
But no, again, just to bring it to the court cases though, I thought there were a lot of points where there was punching, you know, it felt like there was battling, you know, and it was getting punches, you know what I'm saying? I thought that when he brought in the psychiatrist or whatever,
Jake, first one or the second one?
When he brought in the first one, I thought that it was nice that they talked through that and they exposed the corruption
on his ass.
Yep.
On his like I'm talking, you have been in like over 40 trials and shit like that.
You ain't never found nobody crazy, bro.
Crazy, but at the same time, somebody that you found sane.
You're treating crazy folks.
For 10 years.
That wasn't crazy.
For 10 years, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember. I can't recall. I don't remember. Nigga want the bag so bad.
Bro, this is the court, you know, scene works so perfectly because it is a roller coaster ride. It is highs and lows. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker, well, you get the opening, like they got to strike the jurors. Bam, they get a bad, you know, jury. Oh, you know, they're fucked up. All right, well, it gets started. You know, they bring the closing arguments. Oh, yeah, he pisses off the judge, gets pulled to the bed. He says, yeah, but that was important so he could, you know, to the jurors. All right, we're back up.
That nigga came out swinging. How long have you known
that dead dude mama, bro?
How long you know your son was a bitch ass nigga, huh? Tell me that. Oh, I gotta retract that.
Can you rephrase the question? I said.
Bet. How long has your son been a bitch ass nigga?
Oh my God, son.
Hey, my chambers right now, like that shit is so funny, bro. But yeah, like then you get to
rephrase myself.
You get to, like, they had already talked about earlier that the case will hinge on, you know, whose psychiatrist is less credible or more credible. So, like, boom, the prosecution psychiatrist goes up there, gets demolished. Yeah, we're up. Then the defense psychiatrist goes up there. Oh, he's a convicted, you know, statutory rapist. Oh, fuck, we're back down. You know what I'm saying? The whole time while the shit's playing out in the background, the court case is a separate story that is, you know, like going through the roller coaster.
Real quick, and I know it's not a main point, but I just wanted to ask, how did y'all feel about the reconciliation of the second psychiatrist?
You're talking about like where, like at the end where they talked about like what happened.
Yeah.
I think that's a very accurate depiction of things that can happen in real life. I think that I've always said there's shades of gray in a lot of things. Like a motherfucker committed a crime, but like in actuality, You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he's married to this girl who was, you know, slightly under the age or whatever. Like, it's wrong, you know, like legally and whatnot. But like, you know, he's in love. Like he didn't just go out there and steal some pussy. So it's like, it's the example of duality. That is a second rape in this movie, but it is far contrasting to the first one, because the first one was an act of violence and whatnot. The second one was just outside of legal parameters. The law will have you view that as the same thing. But if you actually look at it as a person, no, that's not the same at all. You know?
Yeah.
It is really fucking crazy too, bro.
What you mean?
It's just like just crazy because the prosecution.
I want to know what that means.
I think it's crazy. Like, okay, they painted that man like that, but niggas didn't say, "Oh, he married to this lady right now."
Because they not going to.
That's
of
course,
I know why they wouldn't, but it's just crazy though. Like, you making this nigga look
crazy, bro. Like,
well, it's the moral of the story. You know what I'm saying? The case at hand is a man protecting the honor of his daughter.
Justice is blind.
To be clear, too, when he was questioned about the statutory rape charge or whatever else, he instead of saying yes or no, he said, "I can explain," and he wasn't given a chance to explain. Right? It does sound bad, but at least we did come to learn that the explanation that would have been furnished would have been enough to clear him in the same moment. Yeah, like it would have definitely cleared him. So I'm glad that he was able to get that defense for him. Yeah, what you said?
I would have just said, like, as soon as he said that, I would have said, bro, that's my wife of 25 years or 30 however old. I would have just said that right there. That would have ended everything. That's my wife of 35 years, pussy.
Like, yeah, he gonna call him the lawyer.
Oh yeah, you got to add the pussy on the end of it. Fuck nigga or bitch ass. You gotta
let him loose. What
nigga say? Let him loose. Contempt of court so quick, boy. Like what?
Hey, Jake actually went into an uphill battle here, and he had a really good battle plan. Even though the questions he was asking was not in context of the main crime that's being
the jury to know it.
He wanted the jury to fucking know. You know what I'm saying? The niggas are killed.
They showed in which they always show that. I watched Law and Order a lot. I started watching with my wife a long time ago, and I just kept watching it. But they always say that the jury will ignore that or strike that from the whatever the fuck. No, it doesn't really mean anything because they're gonna fucking remember it. You can't not remember a whole statement that was said in front of you hours ago.
Mm-hmm. But like, so during the court scenes, they've got like that roller coaster. You've got the fucking guy who goes up there, bro. He lost his leg and shit as a result. Carl Lee said, I guess they said a bullet bounced off the float, took his kneecap off, and he lost his leg, bro. Like,
hey, real ass nigga. Real ass nigga. They nigga said, hey man, I was in the way. Nigga said I was in the way.
Shaky. It was shaky because he did open up by saying he said sorry for doing it. Which in the context of the trial is just an admission of guilt.
He admitted it, And he said, go ask him. He said, ask him if he thinks I deserve to go to jail.
Nigga, hey, that nigga put his foot down. Hey, bitch, ain't you my lawyer? Go ask him the motherfucking question.
That motherfucker said, he was like, no, he said he didn't mean no ill will, all this. And then he says, all right, that's enough. He said, turn him loose, damn it. Turn him loose.
Nigga started a riot in that bitch. Turn him loose.
It was funny as a bitch, bro. But, and then you get to John Doe favorite scene. They put Carl Lee Haley on the stand and shit, ask him all these questions. He said, do you think they deserve to die? Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
He was pushed to that point though. Like, I don't think that I don't think that he was going to go that crazy and say all that at first, but because he didn't, he was getting drowned out by like kind of
a lot of duress, like
pressure.
Like there's a lot of things going on around him. He freaked out, sensory overload.
I think they did that scene perfectly because that we've if you've seen a movie or a show with a court case in it, there's a point in time where the lawyer just get on the motherfucker ass on the stand and force them to try to say something that's gonna incriminate.
You could see the tension building, bro. Like the tension is building and rising and whatnot. I think there was a musical score in the background. You know what I'm saying? It just goes all the way until like the point where the lid blows off the teapot proverbially.
Yeah, you got the prosecutor lawyer defense, whatever the fuck. yelling at him. You got his lawyer yelling at him. You got the judge in the background trying to keep everybody sane. You got the jury and the crowd in the audience.
The fucking
all
people are watching, yelling.
You know, and they're doing the fucking camera cuts of everybody and everything, and then they finally zoom in on him as he's screaming these somewhat obscenities of, "Bitch, yeah, I did it. Fuck him." You know what I'm saying? I think that was a perfect scene.
And he was like I say, you know, like he's right, but you can see, you know, the differing responses of the white crowd. Like the black crowd just heard, yeah, they deserve to burn hell. Yeah, you're right. You tell them. The white crowd just heard, like, yeah, you know, I murdered these white
he admitted
people. It. You know, like, yeah, like, oh, they deserve to die. I hope you die. You know, type shit.
Look, man, you know, his wife comes back to him and shit. I realized the error of my ways. You know, whatever. Yeah, good for you. I don't really give a fuck.
I'm about to say that was a bit paper thin. They tied it all back together, but like I guess it's like a happy thing.
So like, the reason why I like that scene is more so on Matthew McConaughey
taking accountability.
Yeah, that too, most definitely. But Matthew McConaughey's character, he's clearly in distress already.
Yeah, he's at rock bottom.
Hanging on the edge. He's hanging on the edge of the seat because he thinks he's about to lose his wife. You know what I'm saying? And he's just literally on the edge of his seat with this gun that he was already pointing at the door in the first place. And he's staying in his fucking office with his dog because his house burned down. He hasn't seen his wife nor his daughter in weeks.
His client just like fucked himself over in his case, so he's probably gonna lose that bitch.
Like he's scared at this point, you know.
She came back. She said sorry or whatever else, and he says to her, you know, plain and simple, like I was afraid that I was gonna lose you and shit. So it's a heartfelt scene. It delivered. But I do think since she was like on screen for a bit of it and then leaves and then gets to come back later and have this scene, you know, it's not the best part of the movie, but it definitely was effective. But obviously,
it was inoffensive, you know, like it just wasn't like contributory. But I do want to bring up something. I'm gonna let you go. We
just gotta get to the last court scene.
Yeah, so. Like there was one thing I wanted to bring up before then because we didn't talk about it. The scene right where, you know, his secretary, like her husband had got beat the fuck up and he died or whatever.
Yeah,
she made a really poignant point, I think, where she was like basically saying like, yeah, you know, Jake, you're doing what you think is the morally right thing, and nobody can fault you for that. I commend you. But you played with all of our lives, and you got to wonder at the end of it, was it worth it? Even if you win, I don't think it was worth it. And then she just leaves, and that's the last you see of her in the movie.
Yeah,
and like I think that's a very poignant point. Like, it's not easy doing the right thing. It can hurt not only you, but others around you. And sometimes they're not interested in, you know, taking the abuse or taking the risk with you. So it's going to come like at the loss of some people that you're close to. I think that's a very poignant point made.
And with her character being like the older woman, her husband is already, I'm assuming, retired. He's gone through 2 strokes already. You know, she doesn't necessarily deserve any of this. You know, she's just working a job, trying to live her life and make it to the end pretty much. And she ends up losing her husband in the midst of all of this. So I can't fully blame her on how she feels. However, at the end of the day, when you're looking at, you know, the bigger picture, you know, it shouldn't have been a sacrifice that she had to make, but it was a sacrifice that was made.
Yeah. And then, you know, my boy Lucian Wilbanks, he a pimp, you know what I'm saying? He go to walk the lady off, you know, he get to walking off with her and shit, you know, shout out to him.
Oh, he probably got some grief pussy. I ain't gonna lie to you. That nigga kind of smooth.
She was already at the, you know, earlier, she was asking, especially, she's like, where is he? How's he been? Is he eating? And they look and they said, how long did y'all date?
Hey,
they said, we never
dated. That was hilarious.
His secretary.
That was hilarious. But
and motherfucker, they said, oh yeah, she did him. She did him hard. Like
anytime a bitch asks if a nigga is eating, she done had dick before.
Well, that and then Roots, like the excuses she gave is the most generic, like, you know, woman excuse. She says, I am a fine, upstanding one, and if I did want to, I could do way better than this pickled drunk, you know, such. Oh yeah.
He tried to add that she was a Southern woman, like that was gonna sway us. Nah.
Well, regardless of that, like you just made up an insult that wasn't really an insult. You was just looking for something to try to throw some shit off the trail. You was fucking him, like.
Yeah. Shout out Sandra Bullock for jumping into somebody's office through a window when you learned they weren't there anymore. That was definitely like a spy mission that she did, and she's fired for that.
And before then, she's talking to that guy. That guy's being real creepy. He's like, "Hey, you know, like a pretty girl like you needs to make sure that she's got her facts right. She wants to be a journalist. You want to come back to my office and I can get your number and we can set up an appointment and all that." I'm like, "Oh man, this guy's creepy."
Bro, what's up with receding hairline motherfuckers being creepy? Like, does your fucking
bro?
What's like does your fucking bro? Like morality leave with your hair? Like what the fuck?
Well, you get desperate, bro. Damn, my hairline gone, but I still want some bad bitches. What am I gonna do? Like,
exactly.
Shave the rest of that bullshit off the back of your neck, and you might have a chance.
But yeah, all right, Luno. Let's get to the important part. The best scene of the movie. I think we can widely agree.
Fact. Yeah, it easily was the best part. It was a tearjerker. I shed those grown man tears and shit like that.
This is the coldest. This is the cold. It might be the coldest scene of a movie I've ever seen.
Listen, bro.
I think it's on the level of emotional weight of Keanu Reeves' last scene of Hardball.
And Luno, that's what I was literally
just
what
a
I was
cold fucking.
I successfully held back tears watching Keanu Reeves talk about G Baby. I did not watching this this scene. This scene hurt to watch, bro. Hey, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a black man or because I'm literally the father of a daughter, of a young woman, but it hurt to watch, bro. Like this shit hurt to watch, and then to add the little sprinkle on it afterwards, or at the end of now. Imagine if she's white.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is cold as a bitch. This a cold ass lawyer right here, bro.
Let's zoom in. What'd you say, KTO? Right, because a motherfucker. Literally, like, he goes in there and he's like trying to take a deal, and Carly don't want to do it. He's like, oh, well, fuck, what am I going to do now? And Carly basically tells him, like, bro, we're not friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're one of them. That's why I want you to be my lawyer. How would you get out of this shit if it was you? So he has to go back and
no, not even that. He said, what would convince you if you were on the jury?
Yeah. And so you don't know where this is going, Buckley gives his closing argument where he basically says, like, you've seen all the facts. He took justice out of your hands and took it into his own hands. He admitted that he thinks that they deserve to die. This is an open and shut case. And, Jake Brigance goes up there and, gives this rhetoric about, how Dr. Bass, yes, he said, I would never have put a convicted felon on the stand. You have to believe me. If I had known about it, but the woman that he raped, quote unquote, that's his wife of 25 years. They got kids together and all of that, and he starts talking about like, well, what is it about us that searches for the truth? We can't search for it with our eyes and our minds where we see, our commonalities turn to differences based off of slight, skin color differences.
Yeah, look to your heart, he says.
Yeah, like he says we have to search for it with our heart. And, like a motherfucker just gives a long dialogue, which I'm not going to try to butcher that.
He said, close your eyes. He told a story that parallels Tanya's violation,
YouTube.
Bro.
If you're listening,
not even parallels. He told the story, bro.
Go on YouTube and look up A Time to Kill closing argument. I just watched the video after the movie was over. It's on YouTube. It's about 2 minutes. It's, in my opinion, one of the greatest scenes ever. He goes and he recounts the whole story, as Roots said, like in graphic detail, and really, and I appreciate these things because I think we become desensitized to things in like the word rape, like is just it's been used so often because it happens so often, and we watch crime shows and all of this, but he really broke down the actual acts that were happening to a small child who did nothing, wrong to anybody to deserve this. And I think that in itself, carried the emotional heft of it, like reminding people, okay, this is exactly what happened. And he paints the picture. And as Roots said, ends it all after a pause, trying not to break into tears, and says, now imagine she's white. And this is what I'm talking about. It pans to Samuel Jackson's character. He was looking down. He looks up, widens his eyes,
and
it conveys a message without words that's necessary. And I'm telling you, dog, it's a punch square in the chest. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers
it was hard, man.
It was blame you, bro. Like
it was hard. It was like I was listening to him talk and he's telling the story or whatever. And his choice of words also was just very effective. You say she's laying there, you know, covered in their semen, covered in urine, her blood crushed. Like the things he chose to say were so evocative.
Yeah, and he's using adjectives. He says the blinding flash of the rope being pulled. She kicks for the ground, and her feet did not find
a mixture of like sweat and beer breath and shit. Like all the ways he like
listen
to the bone.
Listen, bro. Not only did he do perfectly in this scene, like I got two things. One with Matthew McConaughey. If you can't do this scene and monologue it, because you know that in you know certain trying to get acting jobs, certain people pick scenes to monologue for an audition. If you can't do this perfectly, don't even dare try to sully the name of Matthew McConaughey by trying to do this scene. Don't do it to him. Don't do it to yourself. It was perfect. The description that he used, the facial expressions. I don't know how many takes they did with this. Because he's a god, I assume he did it in one take. But not only just that,
it blurs the line of whether you think it's real, because he could really be, you know, saying this like tearing up and choking up and whatnot. Like that
actors very often when they perform in their roles, they do cry. Like they sometimes really become their characters. Sometimes they do cry on the set and they keep the footage because that's just what the director was looking for, you know. So
the realness of it. But one other thing I wanted to point out was the jury was perfect in the scene as well. They're sitting there with their eyes closed, right? And as he's telling this story, you can see the small reaction in their face as they're listening to what's being said. I thought that was perfect.
There's people within the jury and the crowd that you can see tears begin rolling down their face. And I think that that's a great fucking touch. Like these people who were previously unaffected by all of these things that they heard, finally the reality setting in due to him, you know, breaking everything down to its basest elements.
Yeah, fuck what you feel about Carl Lee. Fuck what you feel about the two dead white boys now. What about this innocent child? What do you feel about that? Did she deserve that because of the color of her skin or where she was?
I'm about to say, and beyond that, Roots, like imagine all this happens to a little girl and he knows like, oh yeah, you know, you're just recounting the like parts of the case and shit. And that's when he ties it all back together. He's like, all right, you know, I know you've got the image of this girl in your mind. Now imagine she's white. You know what I'm saying? Like that to really shatter the difference of like, okay, what if it was your child? You know, like what would you do? You know,
I was sitting there.
Are you discounting this only because of what color she is? This horrible thing that I just described. Can you really like justify yourself as a good person as saying like this is not as effective because of what color the person that this happened to was?
I was admittedly on some pussy shit. Like I was watching this scene. Like I said, it was a tearjerker. And I'm choked up and I'm looking at the reactions of the jury while I'm sitting here choked up about it. And I'm seeing them, you know, tears down their eyes. When he said her womb was crushed, this woman like visibly winced and cringed at like hearing it, right? Because she felt it in her own body, you know? There's so much going on in that scene, man. It's incredible.
Ability to bear children is definitely a big thing to like, you know, appeal emotionally to women. Like a woman thinking about like, damn, my daughter will never be able to experience, you know, the joy that I have of being a mother.
Yeah,
you know,
and which that goes back to the scene of the picking of the jury when his plan was to make sure that he gets, you know, some mothers and some young fathers on this jury stand, you know, and he appealed, though that's not exactly what he got, he still was able to appeal to the father of the daughter or the father of the child, the woman who has had children before and is raising children. You know, he was able to appeal to these, I'm assuming 12 jurors in just 5 minutes, where he wasn't able to in the span of 2-3 weeks, because every time they went back to the jury sitting, you know, having lunch or dinner or whatever the fuck, it looked like Carl Lee was cooked. based off of those conversations.
You had one guy that was holding out, and then at the last like time that you see them together, he just kind of like gave up. He was like, "Yeah, he's guilty." So it's over with.
I don't want to, go too crazy on this scene. Everybody seems to be in agreement. It's a dope scene, and I want to get to the ratings. Do we have any thoughts about the resolution?
Well, hold on, right? So, like after that, I think something that's noteworthy, right? You know what I'm saying? They go through and you get the verdict. He's found innocent. It's a big celebration and whatnot, right? So they're doing all the court proceedings and going to leave. And, Carl Lee walks up to Jake. He says, Jake, that was incredible. That was, that. And Jake just tells me, he says, I'm one of the bad guys, right? And he just leaves. And it's kind of
it's kind of like his feelings. It's kind of like his feelings were hurt a little bit. Like, yeah, bitch ass motherfucker, you said I ain't your friend. So I ain't your friend, motherfucker. I did my job.
Like I did what you, I was who you said I was, right? Does it make, do you feel good about this now? And
I like that at the end too, how when they walked up on Kiefer Sutherland and shit and his boy, the shaggy looking nigga, they said we gotta have a conversation. You get over there too.
You get over there.
He tried to act stupid. He tried to act stupid. He said, "What?
What? What do you mean? I didn't do anything.
You think I'm stupid? Like
I'm your number one deputy, face ass."
Oh,
face ass.
And a good, another good, like I say, bro, the thing that makes this movie great is there's so many fucking stories that are being told. Before all of the shit took place, Lucian tells Jake, he says, I can't go back in the courtroom. I swear I would never go back in there after that, all of that. And he finally comes full circle and he does enter the courtroom just in time to see this masterful final speech. So I think that was a good closure for his character, he finally decided to get back in there.
Samuel L. Jackson does say earlier in the movie, our kid, you don't even know where I live. Our kids don't play together, right? And in the end, they
full circle.
He goes up to his crib, brings his daughter out there, and that's how it ends. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of smile at each other, and it's a moment of acceptance where, I think it's the personal growth of, Matthew McConaughey's character, where, Sandra Bullock is telling him earlier in the movie, this is who you think you are, but this is not real. People keep telling him who he is, and who he perceives himself to be are two separate people. And at the end, he realizes, okay, maybe there are some things I'm not who I think I am. Let me make the moves to become this person that I want to be. And I think that's a sign of growth,
This movie showed in a way that justice is colorblind. But also that hatred is also, that evil is also colorblind, because the KKK and as well as all the corrupt individuals or whatever who wanted to represent this white purity, this racism and stuff, they ended up attacking other white people and harming other white people in the course of that, right? You have the black people at the NAACP or whatever, right? On one hand, they're supposed to be racial liberation people, but at the same time, they also have this aspect of corruption. We're gonna sell your case to this guy. Right.
Well, beyond that, Luno, at a certain point, they're talking about this, he says, and how many cases do you intentionally lose so the victims can be martyred? So sometimes they'll throw the case for the greater good, quote unquote, of their movement. You feel me? So that's an even bigger transgression, I feel like.
Yeah, man. But the movie ends and I start clapping like a retard by myself.
I will
anyways,
say, Luno, I don't think that it was you talking about some soft ass shit. I don't think I can blame you for that, bro. I don't think that's soft at all.
No, it was tough, man. I also cried during the G Baby part 2 in Hardball, because it was just again, it's the same thing. His expression, Keanu Reeves, a young Keanu Reeves at that, doing a great job visually, but also his choice of words as well. He said, when G Baby got that home run and he raised his arms up, it was almost like he was holding the world on his shoulders or something like that. And that shit, I think it was what broke me. I think this movie here, man, like you said last week, is definitely one of those ones. Definitely appropriate for a year having done this shit, man. Any last thoughts before we?
Hey, man. One thing. Matthew McConaughey.
Who the fuck is that?
Hold it down. It's me. So Matthew McConaughey, man, he don't miss, bro. He don't miss as a lawyer.
That's why I said
he's 100% undefeated as a lawyer. Fact.
As a lawyer, he ain't miss.
He's batting 1,000, bro. He might just be meant to be a lawyer.
Yeah,
I ain't I mean,
weed.
Yeah, I was about to say he didn't fail as a weed kingpin either. So
no.
Well,
it might
look,
just be
man.
one of them. I don't know, man. Shout out to Matthew, man. You know, we 1 year in. He's a go to the podcast, man.
Yeah. Also,
well, I'll
wait
for the ratings. Let's see what the ratings are. Then we'll talk about it.
Real quick. Also, we gotta.
There?
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, bro. I'm just listening.
Also, I think we gotta have some more Samuel Jackson on here because we haven't had. This is our first Samuel Jackson movie, correct?
Yeah, like.
I mean, we had all the Nick Fury.
I'm about
shit.
to say.
Oh, right, yeah. The
Slim
shows
said y'all that on the Marvel shit.
Yeah, but I think in which Luno and I kind of partially discussed it a little bit about his range. I think he doesn't get put like his name is not thought of first when you think of the Denzels and the Will Smiths and the black actors that are of that essence of top tier performances. And I think we should
got a different lane.
More light.
Like generally.
Well, this is the thing. He's done voice acting for animation. He's done serious roles. He's played bad guys. He's played good guys. He's played anti-heroes.
He's been a comedy character,
a comedy character. I think the only thing that I haven't seen him in. Nope. I've seen him in Deep Blue Sea, and that's a horror movie.
Oh, wait, no, he was in a movie because he was in Spiral. We watched Spiral.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I didn't even think that. I've never seen that. So we've had him on here once. But I think we need to really shed more light on the black the black top tier actors. I don't think we tap into that space enough. And yes, this is Black Ass Fruit saying that.
We're gonna have someone here, you know what I'm saying?
Man, dope podcast, man, as usual, man. Appreciate everybody who pulled up, whether temporarily or for the whole thing. Shout out Showtime Slim for pulling up, even though he's busy on Fridays for now. Happy to have made it to a year, but
Hey, Luno, man, you just gonna skip the ratings and stuff, man?
I think he was getting to
absolutely not.
I was trying to give him some time, but I was like, this sounds like outro. I don't want him to hit the button before he realize what he did.
Oh nah. We're about to get into these ratings here, and I was just gonna set it up. I'm just gonna do it in order.
Yeah, I'm typing up the ratings as we say them, so I got you on that.
Salute. All right, man. So there's nothing wrong with this movie, in my opinion, besides the bomb that was a firecracker or a firework or something. It wasn't like like I thought that when he threw that shit, it was gonna like blow up the house across the street. Okay, it was like a whatever. I'm not gonna nitpick that.
Who else said he threw that bitch into space, bro?
This movie was like I would call it a masterpiece, right? Like every character had purpose. I thought that the dialogue between characters was extremely tasteful and good. I think that there was a lot of emotional throughways for the audience. I thought it broke out of stereotypes about movies pertaining to racism in that it didn't give you an infallible savior, predictable bad guys, and a telegraphed plot. It gave you something that, as a viewer, you can immerse yourself into a movie that makes you question your moral standing, makes you question the world that you live in, and a movie that, when it ends, even though things seemingly have a happy ending, there's the sense of foreboding from what you've watched already that things may still need some sort of addressing, and that feeling I think might be something that they wanted to do with this movie. But that being said, it was excellently shot, 1996, year I was born, and really high quality, great soundtrack, great acting. Every actor that was on this shit, star-studded performance in my opinion. I think KTL was saying that at the time of this movie, a lot of these guys and lady weren't as established as they are now, not even close, but still doing arguably some of their best work ever in the entertainment industry. So that's amazing. The movie's a long movie, 2 hours and some change, and usually movies like that, it's really hard to draw attention. I thought my eyes were glued to the screen. I was following it the entire time. I think the movie teaches an important lesson. I think that this movie is it is rewatchable, but once you've watched it, I think it'll do what it needs to do for you. And any additional watches are going to be to catch little details or just to admire the work, it's the first time for me on this podcast with respect to my ratings, because I do try to be charitable, but at the same time also be honest about faults of movies. But for the first time on this podcast, I am going to give A Time to Kill a 10 out of 10. It is a masterpiece. It's in a genre that's not even my favorite. But it did everything it had to do. It's irreplaceable. That's all I got, man. 10 out of 10.
All right.
Dope movie, man. From every angle. It's not a second I didn't enjoy in this movie. Well, other than them raping a damn kid, I didn't like that very much. But
why is it every time you say some shit, it sounds so crazy, dog?
It's a talent.
I like everything in here except, the fucking child rape. Like,
it's a talent, man. The rest of you niggas don't have that in y'all package.
Yeah, that means you did like when they was
hard. Niggas gonna have what and they what?
Oh,
I clearly said pause Roots, and that's
what I was on the pot.
I was about to hold you. I was about to hold you too. I was about to hold you, but you see my man, so I'm gonna let you make it. You say
I
thing, I'm gonna hold you.
Brother. I appreciate that, brother. I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
I apologize.
Hey,
apologize is hilarious.
Yeah, we should do
my fault, Pools. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, great movie though. Everybody played they part crazy. The acting was amazing. My man's Matthew McConaughey did his thing as usual. Might be the greatest lawyer to ever be a lawyer, other than them niggas from Boston Legal. Watch that show if you've never seen it.
And Bob Celeste.
Crazy. Shout out Bob Celeste. I'm gonna go. Never seen it. I'm not 63. Shout out
nigga age shaming, bro.
I feel like this is yeah, man. I'm tired of having ass movies, so let me just put a great movie on. I feel like it's one of those, and I think you delivered, brother. Pause. Good shit. I give it a 9.5.
Thanks, brother. All right, man. This might be it might be the fourth or the fifth time I've watched this movie within the past, I'm gonna say 2 years, right? So like I definitely, what Luno said about rewatching it, I definitely can and will rewatch this movie. It passes the test of I would watch this with a bitch, it'd be tough in the beginning, obviously. But like I would definitely watch this. I would watch this with anybody though, bro. Like I think I love this movie, bro. Like I'm not joking. It's one of my favorite movies. When I saw it, you know what I'm saying? It tells a great story. It's a period piece. It tells, a story of a certain time in history that we are not as far removed from as we believe that we are. You know what I'm saying? It tells the story of a vicious crime, the likes of which happens often still to this day. You know what I'm saying? And it reflects the world around us. There are characters who are, as Luno said, not infallible. They are morally complicated and compromised. Nobody is, the perfect good guy in this movie, despite there being some very, morally bad guys in this movie. It doesn't just play with a black and white system. There's a whole bunch of, well, it does, but it's a shade of gray within this whole movie. All the characters delivered very high quality performances. I can't think of a single bad thing, even beyond the core four that we talked about. Kiefer Sutherland was great as a bad guy. Donald Sutherland was fucking amazing as the lawyer that he was. I don't know the actor's name who played Harry Rex, but he played his role very well. The secretary, she did a good job. You know what I'm saying? Even the judge was a suitable, dry-witted dickhead. Like all the jurors, like there's so much that I could go on. I could talk about this movie for hours. I'm not joking. With that being said, I don't like to do this, often, but I feel as though because I don't like to overrate my own movie picks, inflation. I think that's lame, but I really, despite the fact that this is a subsequent watch, so the law of diminishing returns exists, I'm not going to take off for that. I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10 because I feel like this is an absolutely phenomenal movie. I can't think of anything bad that I want to say about it, except for the fact that through a personal preference, I really would have much preferred to see Matthew McConaughey and Sandra Bullock end up together. You know, it's to the point where like I feel it in my soul, bro. Look at my picture, like, you know what I'm saying? He should have ended up with this badass bitch. Like they loved each other, you know what I'm saying? But beyond that, you know, I appreciate what Puo said, man. I tried to bring some quality to the podcast, man. I got some good movies. Sometimes I just, you know, like to take a step off the beaten path, but we back in our bag, man. Happy 1 year anniversary to the Real Rap Coalition.
Fire. First, I'd like to say, Art, get off the ground. You're losing right now.
Yeah.
But this is my first time seeing this movie. However, I'm not going to watch it again. One, this movie is perfect, and I don't use that. I think I may have given one other movie a 10 in the year that we've been doing this, but not only is it perfect, but it's
Matthew McConaughey movie.
I think it might have been, but
one of you niggas gave Shutter Island a 10. You or Luna?
That sound about right.
I think he gave The Gentleman a 10 though.
But I can't, like, the same way that I stay away from I can't even think of the Keanu Reeves G Baby. What's Hardball? The same way that I stay away from that, I stay away from shit like this just because it's too fucking real for me. You know, I'm an adult. I'm a black man in America. I have children. In this case, I have a daughter. You know, and seeing shit like this play out, it.
So you put yourself like in the situation when you watch the movie.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I would have did the same fucking thing. I'd have did it earlier. They wouldn't have made it to the fucking jailhouse in the first place. They wouldn't have made it to be arrested. Just being honest. You know what I'm saying? And I can't what's the word? I can't feel that. You know what I'm saying? Walking around everywhere and shit. So I can't watch stuff like this continuously.
And carry that emotion around.
Yeah, I'll fuck around. And there's nothing wrong with slapping a white person every once in a while. But however, I'd probably do it at least once a week. You know, and you know, that's not just not professional and
cracker roots.
That sounds catchy. But
you can say
that resonated with me. I felt that, you know what I'm saying? But
like the movie.
Facts. But this movie is great, man. I think it hit every point that it needed to. There was points where I laughed. There was a point where I cried. There was a point where I was on the edge of my seat in anticipation. You know what I'm saying? There's not many movies. Facts. There was a point where I was pissed watching them first few scenes. Absolutely pissed off from the white boys throwing bottles on the roof to the what, you know, incurred after that. You know what I'm saying? It's this movie is great, man. It made me feel everything, you know, that it was supposed to. And that's why I also have to give this movie what happened?
Before you say what you
hey, cool, check the chat, bro.
Yeah, it's my pick, right?
Yeah.
You heard this shit in my background?
Yeah.
What is that?
This no funny shit. The remote is all the way over there on the table. This nigga Black Roots just went off like doing some soliloquy, all this emotional shit on how he felt about this movie. This nigga just made Burning Mississippi play in the background on my TV.
Mississippi Burning?
Mississippi Burning is playing right now. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Hey, I got powers in this bitch. Fuck you talking about, nigga?
That nigga summoned slave movies. That's crazy.
Just did that shit.
Hey, Puo said that with that Venture Bro shit last week, bro.
I'm gonna change my name to the Slave Ghost Summoner, nigga. Fuck you talking about?
Your name Roots.
It makes sense.
I'm gonna go turn this shit off. Hold on, man.
Hey, that nigga Puo shook right now.
All right, finish up the rating. Roots, so you didn't get your
my rating is a 10, and I don't feel bad about it. You know, that's not something that we on this panel do often for movies. And
never summon no black ass shit in my house.
Hey, who else was the right one for it to happen to too? Like this nigga hate black ass shit.
Putting salt outside his crib right now.
No,
Bro,
the movie
not
takes place
even
in Mississippi, bro. It's
Hey,
crazy.
KTL.
I'm not. That shit really happened on my mama's children.
Who else
That
finna
shit
see?
really just
He
happened.
finna see a vision of Harriet Tubman running through his
Hey,
kitchen.
I'm gonna smack the fuck out that bitch. What's she doing here?
Yo, that's
It's gonna be like Tales of the Hood, bro. It's gonna be like Tales of the Hood, where like the spirits of the black people and shit like that just come alive in his house and shit.
I'm cool. I'm free. It ain't nothing to
Who
free in
else
here.
finna
I
get
don't need to
jumped
see
by
that.
some
And she
slaves, bro?
asked.
This
Hey,
shit
she ain't
ain't
even
right.
bad. Like, what the fuck you doing over there?
You talking about Harriet Tubman?
Her got
They
a
said
little
she
ass
got
hair.
a wagon though.
Yeah, she had a fat ass.
Yeah, wagon with strong ass muscles. I'm cool.
But anyway,
Yeah,
finish
but she was a
what you were
slave.
saying.
You gotta
Ruth.
cut her some slack. She was a
Can
slave.
we get
so
the final score?
the rating that I gave was a 10. So that's 10 for me.
And he
in
don't
which this is
apologize
the
for it
most.
neither.
Yeah, I'm not apologetic at all. Which this is the most 10s that we've seen on one movie. I just wanted to point that out. On the year anniversary, we get the most 10 ratings on one movie.
That's poetic.
So, with that, we get a 9.8, man.
The highest movie?
Yes.
This is indeed the
It gotta be.
highest.
You can't get much higher. Like,
I mean, you're right. We had 3 10s.
I don't know.
If anybody in the comments, has some
fucked
issues
it up?
with this movie, please air your grievances. I'd love to hear like what issues you had with the movie. I'm definitely gonna read some snobby, highbrow, like
you better
asshole
change
critic
your
shit
score
after
to
this
a
and
10.
see.
Them motherfuckers gonna jump you, bro.
I'm not doing that.
Nah, they might
gonna run down.
Don't listen to this nigga.
Yeah. They
That's
gonna
like
beat
Wolf of Wall Street, nigga.
them
They
ghosts gonna beat.
They're
the
gonna
fuck
jump
out
them
of
while
us.
they play Georgia on My Mind.
I'm gonna be Clayton Bigsby, nigga, in my clan outfit. Nigga. Fuck niggas talking
You gonna
about
get caught on fire, bro.
Wow.
Relax,
my
Buckley.
red clan.
Did you just call him
gonna
Buckley?
get hit with a Molotov, bro.
Nigga call me Buckley.
Not you, bro. I was talking to the white man.
Huh?
He Buckwheat?
Yeah, he Buckley.
That's alfalfa right there.
Oh, Buckley.
I thought you said Buckwheat from Little Rascals.
Oh, no. Hey,
And it's one pointed on the top of his head.
Buckwheat. Buckwheat was the black kid. So how they gonna call me Buckwheat?
Yeah, that's why I thought it was Puos.
Look, that's a double because he said he's gonna be having a Klansman hood on his one point on top of that.
Nigga never called me buckwheat with this type of hair.
All right, y'all. This stream is 2/3 of the runtime of the movie that we reviewed tonight. So before we get out of here, we got to talk about the next pick. I think we are going to Lordy Lord for the pick for next week. I hope he has a movie ready. What's up, man?
Yo,
why are you so happy?
Because he's fucking sinister, bro. That's why.
Evil ass lad. He finna
Thanksgiving.
He finna pick some racist.
Bitch ass nigga, how you know?
Nah, you capping.
Nah, you bullshitting.
Garbage day.
I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. Like KTL, that nigga really inspired me, bro. Cause like that nigga really just put out an amazing, like super top tier movie. And all I gotta say is I'm with the total opposite shit.
I know.
I'm with this. This shit might be a 1 on all ends, and I've never even seen it before.
We finna watch Zombievers?
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving, nigga. Let's do it, nigga.
You're lying, bro.
My birthday next week, nigga. I'm finna
might be for real.
Hey,
It's
Art.
almost, you know what I'm saying? It's November time.
Hey, Art, Puel's trying to even out the scores, bro. You not alone now.
Let's do it, man. It's Thanksgiving, man. Let's do it, man.
Where's a picture of Thanksgiving? Somebody put that picture.
That shit gonna be ass.
Wait.
It's a turkey, Luno. It's a turkey.
Thanksgiving.
It's a big fucking murderous turkey and shit.
And I only know about this movie because of Puos.
I never seen it
makes
though.
sense.
You watched this, Slim?
Nah. But Puos used to post it and talk about it all the time. He used to post a picture of it.
I never seen it neither.
I never saw it, but we.
This shit gonna be
ass.
ass.
Oh, definitely.
You get my good, Luno?
I hope this not a long movie, bro.
Nah, it's probably like.
Hey, KTL, you know the trash movies will usually be shorter. Like
I know,
like
Slim, but some
75
movies
minutes.
are trash because they're so long and they're like garbage.
Like The Lighthouse.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's a classic. Some faggot.
and Midsommar long too. Pause.
Yeah.
Not really. Is.
Hey, Luno, you good?
Yeah.
He's pulling up the picture of this turkey.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Yo, this shit is hilarious.
Yo, I just noticed this background. What the fuck
Hey, y'all just
It's some Saved by the Bell ass shit, bro.
Hold on. Public service announcement. Y'all want to come watch a 10 out of 10 movie, then watch a 3 out of 10 movie. Join the Real Rap Coalition podcast.
Really generous.
You can only see this type of content here, man. Like,
what if Thanksgiving actually fire? That'd be crazy.
Bullshit.
I'll probably give it at least a 5.
I actually don't know how to put.
Oh man,
you gotta go to.
Brother, this
overlay
guy stinks.
Go to the bottom of overlay. There's a button that you click add, and then you add it from your downloads.
Bro, don't give away the sauce.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, and this is embarrassing, but this shit is telling me I gotta upgrade.
Yeah, he got the free version, Roots. It's not the other version.
Oh well, y'all go look it up. It's a picture of a big bitch ass turkey killing folks. We're gonna be here next week is Thanksgiving. You feel me? Right in time for Thanksgiving. Pujols timed this bitch perfectly, man. A time to kill a 9.8. We've been here for a year. We're gonna be here.
Hey,
for
KTL.
10 more. Yeah.
Before we end, I just want to say, because I know y'all probably already talked
my
about
hype monologue, bro.
I got you, brother. But so a year, 52 weeks straight, no misses. We did multiple
some of our
podcasts
shit got took down, but
throughout the week. Yeah, some of our shit is gone, man. But we still showed up for y'all.
I want
that's a fact. I want to thank everybody that all y'all niggas. And what the fuck is this? Thanksgiving
turkey.
Oh, he shared it.
Gobble,
motherfucker.
Gobble, motherfucker.
This the motherfucking shit. This the shit that you had posted. This is like a meme.
Yeah, you used to post this all the time. Bro. That's how I know about it.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, man, shout out that turkey too, man. And I want to say that salute to all y'all niggas. Salute to everybody that is on this podcast. Everybody that's been on this podcast, man. Everybody that helped make this shit like possible. All the people that watch, the supporters, everybody, man. Salute to all of y'all.
Shout out Luther.
Shout out Luther, man. Shout out, I think, Travis. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else that came through. We had Fear, Trey, everybody that's been here for a little bit.
Tex.
Fear, Trey, Tex, Kareem.
All of y'all. Kareem was on here for one episode. Fireworks. Aqua the Dragon was here for an episode, man. Salute to everybody that made this shit possible, man.
Onslaught, man. Onslaught got a show coming soon, man.
Cap.
That shit been in the making since we started. That shit been here for 52 weeks.
Man, that keep that nigga in the Discord, don't
it? Shit, I'm using you guys' catchphrase. With that being said,
hold on, this ain't was done yet.
Wait, what?
No, it's all good, man. We got more.
Oh, okay,
we got more to
so
do.
he fucked up my monologue and then said he got me, and then he just let Luno take over my outro.
Go ahead, KTF. We got more.
You want to do the outro? You or
Real Rap Coalition podcast. 52 weeks. We doing 5,200 more weeks. We gonna be here till we fucking die. Y'all
bigger and better too,
week.
KTL. This shit gonna get better, man.
Yeah, y'all come back next week for Thanksgiving, man. It's promising to be another classic, and we gonna start this whole year over, man. Y'all stick around. We got some Christmas shit in the works. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna see.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast, and we're out.
I love you, Ellen Roark.
Glad you put a name on that.
I forgot Sandra Bullock's name first.
I thought he was talking to niggas. You love him, bro. I thought he was talking to the nigga that was talking, man.
I love my podcast.
How you feel about this line, Slim? Right here. It's gonna come up right now. Right here. How you feel about that?
What?
He gonna ask Slim.
How the fuck are we playing this?
There's a copyright strike right there.
How you feel about that line, Slim?
How we playing this shit?